So today we're going to be starting off with our very first solo. Solo number 1, okay? And you'll see that in front of you on your screen, solo number 1. So I want to go through some things before we actually jump in here and start playing some of it, okay? Some stuff we need to cover when you're actually reading sheet music, especially when you're dealing with solos. Normally solos are played at competition or at recitals, okay? So when you're playing something at competitions, you have a grade. You have a grade from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on up. The higher the number, the more difficult the piece. Okay? So when you see something that said grade 6, it's very difficult. Okay? If it says grade 2 or 3, it's not so hard. It's something that you could play. Not saying you can't play anything difficult, because you can. You just got to put a lot of time into practicing. Okay? You can play any grade you want to. There is no limit to what you can play. You have to put in the time to actually learn the piece. Okay? So, looking at the solo number 1, first thing we notice is that we have dynamic signs. Okay? So we have forte and piano. Okay? Forte means loud, piano means soft. Okay? So when you see that in the music, as you see in the music that we have in front of us, that's very important, because the composer wrote that for a reason, those loud and soft points in the music, okay? So you want to make sure that you follow that. Reading music, when you have dynamic signs like that, it's like a road map. It's just like reading a map. It's telling you what to do, okay? Like a map tells you where to turn, okay? Your GPS tell you where to turn. Think of this as your GPS. It's telling you what to do, okay? So if we keep looking, then we see where we have more dynamic sounds, where we have things gradually getting louder, which is crescendo. Okay, things are getting louder. You're going from soft to loud. It's like a crocodile. Okay, then if you look underneath that, you got decrescendo, where you're actually decreasing. Okay, so you're going from loud to soft instead of going from soft to loud. It's the opposite. Okay, and that happens gradually. It's not something that just happened all of a sudden. You just automatically do it. No, you gradually get softer, you gradually get louder, okay? That's something that I want you to keep in mind when you see those crescendos and decrescendos. Soft, loud, okay? Make sure that you pay attention to that, okay? Then something else that we see that's new on the music, we see endings. So we see a first ending and a second ending, okay? If you look at your music and you look where there's those repeat signs, remember we talked about repeat signs, that it means to repeat, okay? That repeat sign on that first line, line 1, and it's like the 4th measure from the end, where you see the solid black line and then the thin line and then the 2 dots, okay? That represents that you're going to play the music all the way to that first ending, then you're going to go all the way back to the beginning where it says the 2 dots are at. That's where you're going to go. Okay, then you're going to play all the way back down, and you're going to go to ending number 2. And when you get to ending number 2, guess what? You keep going. Okay, so ending number 1 is just telling you to go back. Okay, ending number 2, you can keep going, playing right through that. Okay, and it's the same thing as you look through the music. Ending 1 all the way up, come back down, play ending 2, and keep going. Okay. Also in the music, you see bars where there are repeat signs, where you see that slash, a dot, and a dot. That's a repeat sign, okay? That means repeat the previous measure, okay? The dots in the measure means to repeat the previous measure, okay? Also, we have things in there where it says trio, okay? Remember, trio means 3, okay? There's going to be 3 instruments or 3 different voicings. And that's happening where you see down on the 3rd line where you got the stick and snare with that little X. That means play the rim. Okay? That's a rim. Anything with the X is either going to be the rim or it's going to be a cymbal splash or accent. Okay? Remember, the X's has nothing to do with playing on the instrument. You do not play on the snare drum or the bass drum or any other instrument when you see an X with the line, okay? That means you're either playing on an auxiliary instrument or you're playing on the rim, okay? And in this case, we're actually playing on the rim, all right? And it's actually the right hand again is leading, okay? So the right hand is leading, like we talked about in our previous segment. The right hand leads, okay? There's no indication in the music that tells us which hand to start with, except for when we get down to where we're using the left and the right, where the right is playing on the snare and the left hand is playing on the snare and the right hand is playing on the rim, okay? That's indicated in the music. When it says that, that's what you have to do, okay? Also, you can see where I actually wrote out the counts, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, because it's in 4/4 time. But as you look through the music, I left the green line on top, but I didn't write anything because I want you to get in a habit of learning how to write out your music yourself. So you got to remember that the measures have to come out to 4 because it's in 4/4 time, okay? And the bottom number again means that quarter note gets 1 count, okay? 4/4 time is also called common time. So if you see music and you see a C on it, it's just common time, 4/4 time. Same thing, just a different indication, okay? So since we went through all the particulars about this, let's play some, okay? Let's play a little. We may not play all the repeats on the bars, but we're going to play a little of this music so you can get a feel of it, okay? So let's get ready to play. Get your sticks out, get your hands all loosed up, and let's play. Okay, so we're back. Now, I just said get your sticks out and let's warm up. Warming up, there's several ways to warm up. You can hold your sticks like this, where I got the beads together, and I'm doing like this, okay? That's a warm up, okay? You see drummers doing that all the time, okay? At least I do, okay? That's just a warm up. That's just to get your wrists loose and getting ready to play. Also, you see drummers do the wrist break, okay? Where you're doing that, all right? Don't try this if you can't do it because you'll break your wrist, all right? All right, so that's just to get your wrist all loosened up. And if you can't do that one, the last one I just showed you, don't attempt because you can hurt yourself. So another way you can do it is actually just do it like this, okay? And the same way this way, all right? That's another way you can do it, all right? Don't try to do it this way if you're not ready to do that, okay? Because that can cause very serious damage, and I don't want to do that, all right? So let's look at solo number 1. Let's try to play the first line, okay? Look at it really, really good because we're subdividing, okay? So we're playing at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 in, okay? And we're playing quarter notes and eighth notes. That's all you see on this music is quarter note and eighth notes, okay? So let's try to play this. Let's try to play the first line, okay? And we're going to be playing on the snare drum, all right? Remember, right hand leads, okay? I'm going to count this off really slow so we can follow along, okay? All right, here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 good job. Great. That's how you get it done, okay? Great, 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 great job. Now, because I talked about the rim and the snare, let's jump down to the third line from the bottom, okay? So I want to do a little of that, okay? I didn't really pay too much to dynamics of playing today, but the next time we look at this piece, we're really going to focus on those dynamics, okay, and see how it makes a difference, all right? So let's look at line number 3, okay? Here we go. I'm going to count it off. Right hand leads, okay? All right, here we go, and I'm playing match grip. Okay, so let me count that off. Again, we're going to start from the third line from the bottom, all right? The first note is a rest, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 great job. You did a great job. You even caught those 2 rim hits on the second line from the bottom. You did a great job on starting to learn your first solo. You guys did great today. I'm very impressed. Okay, so in our next segment, we're going to get through this whole piece of music. Okay, so make sure that you keep studying and you practice it for our next class segment. Okay, once again, I'm Mr. Gardner. I am the band director at Southeast, and I will see you on our next segment.